This clip is sponsored by American Mobile. If you're a nurse interested in traveling, visit americanmobile.com to get started. Can't imagine how frustrating that would have been, but also to have to come into that being like, okay, I need to be the person to advocate. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I remember when went to the very first hearing that she had, that I did not know what to expect. I didn't know her. I just heard of the story. It was in the news. It made, I can't remember if it made national news at the time, but I believe it did. I believe it did make national news. And so I remember thinking, there are going to be so many people there. There are so many nurses. You know, there's like 5 million nurses in the United States. There will be so many nurses there that you probably won't even be able to get into the building. Like, I really thought that in my naive mind. And when I got there, and I took another friend of mine, another friend went with me. And when I got there, there were probably maybe 60 people, maybe 60 people there representing or supporting her. I believe most of them were nurses. There were probably a few just like family, you know, neighbors, that sort of thing. But nothing what I expected. I mean, I walked right into the courtroom and sat down, you know, in those ridiculously hardwood pews. And I remember thinking, where is everyone? I really thought this was going to be so different. And then afterward, about a month later or so, or 2 months later, there was another hearing, and I went to that one, and there were probably about half of the people that were there the first time were at the second one. And then the third one, I believe that was the one that was just like me and my husband and her. And
That's so discouraging.
It was very discouraging. And the very first time I met her, I actually ran into her in the bathroom, and that's how I met her. And she was so she was just so sweet. I thought she has so much going on. I wouldn't even want to bother her at all, but I just told her, you know, I'm here to support you. And she just hugged me. And I told her, you know, I have a podcast. I'm trying to support you any way you can. She gave me her phone number immediately. And I one of the things I thought was, honey, you are way too trusting. If I was somebody, you know, like you, I'm on your side 100%. You can trust me, but good grief. That's how she is, though. She is that kind of person. She lives her whole life that way. And it was hard, you know, just getting to know her over the years. It's been hard seeing her go through it, because there really couldn't be anyone that deserves it less. That's what's so hard about it.
So then where did you go from there? Like how did it become two people at a hearing to, you know, the kind of following and movement that it became?
I think what happened is when her trial, as it got closer to her trial date, I really started talking about it. I had her on the podcast, and I just talked about it almost every week. I would mention it, the date, trying to encourage people to be there. And so the very first day of the trial, the whole courtroom was full. The news media was there. And then the nurse Erica, who is a really popular TikToker nurse, just a wonderful advocate for the nursing profession, she was there, and she brought, even like every day, it seemed like there were more and more people. The Inside Edition came. They interviewed Erica and me and a couple of other nurses, and did a really nice piece on the whole story. And then I think it really, when it really hit me, again, I was still just there as a person going, and I would just tell anybody that would listen, like, you should come too. By the time we get to Friday and she was convicted, then I was convicted, I think, to just do absolutely something. I couldn't believe it. I was really shocked. And then I decided, okay, we need to do something major. This needs real attention. And the only thing I could think to do was to get as many people there to support her as possible. So that was when I created the Facebook group, and it just sort of grew, exponentially, and then it turned into a full rally with all the things.
Yeah.
It was just kind of crazy.